Hello and welcome. I'm going to be reading a script off of the dyslexia assignment for district policy on testing. I am Ingrid Hodarno and I will be playing the role of the teacher. And my friend here, will be playing the role of the dyslexia coordinator. And please excuse the hat. The sun is bright, and so we're trying to keep the shine out of our eyes. Okay, so here we go. Good morning. My name is Ingrid Hodarno, and I am a kindergarten teacher for Conroe ISD. I have taught both second and fourth grades, and I'm currently working with the younger kids. I have monitored student growth and am well aware of the academic progresses and expectations that have to be met. I am also aware of the skills that students are expected to come in with at the initial of the year. After much discussion and research, I would like to express a concern that I have. My administrator informed me that the person I need to contact would be you, since you are our current dyslexia coordinator. I am really glad that I have the chance to speak with you and express my thoughts on dyslexia. I'm hoping that through our conversation, I can shed some light on early testing. Good morning, Ms. Hodarno. It is a pleasure to meet you. My name is Andrea Correa, and as you know, I am your point of contact for dyslexia. I work with over 30 schools and have seen many laws and policies implemented, and many that have not been passed. We work towards improving the lives and education for our children, and what we currently have in place is what we have seen through extensive research, what works best. I'm here to assist with any concerns you might have regarding dyslexia. How may I be of service? Thank you, and nice to meet you. I have a mere understanding that according to our district policy, our children will not be tested for dyslexia until they reach second grade. Will you please help me understand why and how this is helpful? Sure, I will do my best in explaining why. By the time a child reaches second grade, they have developed all the necessary reading and language skills they need to move on to the reading to learn stage. If during this time a child shows signs of reading difficulty and comprehension, then further testing will be done. This testing will be based on fluency, comprehension, letter sound, decoding word concepts, and oral reading. They are also tested on other subjects to make sure that it is only a reading difficulty they have. With these test results, we then can proceed on to collecting evidence of their student work. By this time, they should have 2 full years worth of academic work that can be analyzed. This is more than enough to decide whether indeed this child would benefit from an intensive reading program. We have decided not to test anyone younger than second grade because they are much too young and their brains are still continuing to develop. There is also a maturity level that needs to be considered, and well, they are still working on learning to read. So it is in a way understandable that with enough practice they will eventually get there. Second grade was deemed perfect. Okay. That seems fair. I am sorry, but I completely disagree with this concept. I have taught second grade and fourth grade and have seen students struggle with reading. Most importantly, I have personally referred one of my students in second grade for testing because he lacks skills showed frustration when reading, and had consistent reading behaviors that gave off clues that something wasn't right. When he got tested, he was diagnosed as dyslexic. Although they set up a reading intervention program for him and he showed signs of improvement, still this wasn't enough. He felt like an outsider because academically he wasn't performing well. He knew he was a struggling reader and he hated reading. I felt so sad, and Mom was very thankful that he got the help he needed. I always wondered how his prior teachers did not notice his reading difficulty, and why was he never further assessed. In the end, I'm glad I made a difference for him. But this is in a later stage of life. But all this could be prevented sooner than later. I completely understand, and maybe those teachers did notice a pattern, but maybe they felt he would eventually overcome it with age. But why wait until reading and academic content becomes more difficult to find help? Research shows that, in fact, instead of helping a child, this slows down their progress because they're not being helped with school services outside of the classroom for specific skills they need. Dyslexic children are often identified in the later grades, and this becomes more difficult to remediate. Early identification can help close this gap. The sooner a child receives services for their reading difficulties, they can move forward with a more positive outlook on reading and become successful students. Dyslexia is a neural dysfunctional problem where certain parts of their brain are not receiving messages. So other parts of their brain need to compensate for not properly retrieving information where they should be. They have to work twice as hard than a non-dyslexic child to learn, and this can be exhausting for them. These children need to break the reading code. The earlier they can figure out that spoken words are made up of smaller units called phonemes, these phonemes are attached to letters of the alphabet, and this is brought into our language system. This can be done in kindergarten. Kindergarten is the best time for this to happen because it is during this time that children learn sight words, rhymes, and make letter sound associations to form one-syllable words. If we notice that a child is having trouble doing all of the above, then we can push for testing, see what they know. And if indeed they lack phonemic awareness, then establish an intervention program. This program will continue on with them throughout their academic career, and accommodations will be provided along the way. This will prevent any future struggles because they will eventually be able to bond this gap of lack skills and feel more prepared with each grade level. Okay. Hearing you speak makes me wonder. I see what you mean. Since our dyslexic students indeed suffer with phonemic awareness, if working with them sooner, they can eventually outgrow this stage and move on to harder concepts. Since our main concern is to develop their fluency and comprehension, then we can focus on this as they proceed to the older grade levels. Exactly. The older the grade level, the harder the concepts. Why have our students struggle learning phonemic awareness while at the same time figuring out how to learn new and difficult content? They should focus on one thing at a time. This is what kindergarten and first grade are for, to strengthen these skills. With outside school services, there can be better chances and better hope for our dyslexic students. Yes, indeed, Miss Hadarno. I see your rationale now. I understand the earlier the better. So what do you propose, Miss Hadarno? That we change our current policy and advocate for early identification to receive the necessary remedial support sooner than later. We want success for our kids. Our duty is to detect when something is wrong and fix it right away. If we allow for problems and difficulties to linger, it will soon escalate, and finding the solution will become harder. There should not be an age or grade limit to when a child should get tested. If we detected a consistent pattern or multiple signs, we need to say something. Well then, this sounds fair to me, Miss Hadarno. I will take this up with the district and mention to them the benefits to testing earlier. You are right. Why wait for tomorrow if we can get help now? I appreciate your time, Miss Hadarno, and thank you for sharing some great insight with me. I hope to be sharing the same with our district, and hopefully they are also able to open their eyes and see what we see. We really do need a change. And if we want better for our children, we need to start them off young. Thank you so much, Miss Correa. Thank you for allowing me to voice my concern. Now that we are on the same plane, I will start by recommending some students I currently have for testing. I would rather be safe than sorry. And this is the end of our district policy change. I hope you enjoyed it. I am no ventriloquist for sure, but I worked with what I was able to have, and I hope you honestly did enjoy it.